Hey everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with My Sunshine. Thanks so much for coming by, and thanks for stopping in for another Trash to Treasure. Today I am just taking a few of the items that I've thrifted or found at garage sales and flipping them so that they fit my decor. So if you'd like to see how I flipped these thrifted treasures, please keep watching. So this is what that mini rocking chair looked like before we started cutting it. It was really cute, but I wasn't really into the hearts on the side. So my husband and I came up with the idea of just kind of cutting it out and making it look like a normal rocking chair. So my husband was awesome and cut it for me, because this tool is one that I'm not very good at. So then after he did that, originally I was going to stain it so that it all matched, but I didn't have anything that matched this color. So I decided I was just going to paint it. And I'm going to use one of my most favorite colors. And here's our little helper for today. And I decided to use my most favorite chalk paint color. And this is the Valspar Divine Bluefin. It was on clearance last year at Target. I don't know where else you can find it. And I'm using one of my favorite chalk paint brushes. I can list that in the description box. And I just went ahead and coated the whole thing out. So after I was done painting it, I let it dry for probably 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And then I just took a wet rag and wet sanded it over, or kind of, I guess, wet distressed it in the spots that I thought needed to be distressed. And this is a fan that I got from the thrift store, and I think it's really pretty. I actually do love that color. I really like the mustard yellows, but it doesn't go with the colors in my house, so I'm just going to use this. It's like an off-white piece of fabric that I had. And I just ironed it out so that I could get most of the wrinkles out, and then I'm tracing around the fan with about an inch, maybe less, gap, because I don't know if you could see when I showed you that the top part was folded over those little wood pieces, and it's also folded on the bottom. It's like a little hem, I guess. And this looks like it was just glued on with maybe some spray adhesive. So I'm just going to do the same thing. And after I got it off, I'm just going to trace the bottom and do a little bit of a gap as well. And then I'm going to cut it out. And this is the spray adhesive I'm going to use. And I'm just going to spray it onto the actual wood pieces, being very careful. But first I wanted to fold the bottom like the original was. And for this, I'm just using a little bit of hot glue. And you don't want to use hot glue on the whole thing because you'll be able to see it through the fabric if you're using a light fabric like I am. So before I go out and spray it in the garage, I'm just going to lay it out. And I wanted to at least glue one side. And I'm just gluing this one side that is going to be the back. So you're not going to see it. That's why I'm using hot glue. But I'll show you here why you don't want to use hot glue on the whole thing. See, you can see it through the fabric. It's like, it changes the color of the fabric, and it's also kind of like bubbly looking. But I didn't think it mattered because it was going to be the back. So I just took this out in the garage, and I didn't record it because the spray adhesive gets everywhere. And I didn't want to risk it getting on the camera. So I just sprayed it and pushed down the fabric as neat and as tight as I could. And then took it back out in the garage after I got it placed, and I did just a little bit on the top edges of the wood. I sprayed it a little bit on the top edges of the wood pieces. I don't know if you could tell when I showed it to you, and then I just folded the fabric over. And I think it turned out okay for my first time. It has some wrinkles in it, but I might go back and fix those. Then I'm taking this tray, it's like a wicker tray that I got from a garage sale. And it had this really strange wood bottom, and I wasn't really too thrilled about it. So I took some of this Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color Coastal Blue, because that will go with a lot of the decor in my house, because I have kind of like a coastal farmhouse modern type thing going on. So I just took some painter's tape and went along the edges of the basket so that I didn't paint those blue. And then just gave it a couple coats. And I just kept turning it so that I would get all the little crevices and creases and all that, and edges. And I think it looks really cool so far, but it still needed something, so I'm just taking some twine and putting it through those holes in the bottom of the basket. And I just wrapped it around like 5 or 6 times. And I did it on both sides. And that's about it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really like it. I think it has a lot of texture and color going on. And this is what everything looks like. I think they turned out really pretty and a little bit different than what I normally do, but I had fun doing it. And I don't know if you remember when I thrifted this little rocking chair. I got the idea from April, from the channel April Adair Shares. You should go check her out if you get the chance. She does some really cool trash to treasure or thrift flips. And I think this color could be used all throughout the year. It doesn't have to be spring or winter. And it's also a coastal color. And this is how the fan turned out. I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, there's some wrinkles in it, but I think it turned out pretty awesome. And here's the tray. I really like how this one turned out. let me know in the comments below which ones you liked, and also what kind of decor style would you like to see my next thrift flip or trash to treasure in. Alright, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!